for the major part of the night where I stay at, which is around the environs of Nairobi. But if you're outside there, please do also inform us how the night was, as it was dawning onto Biashara Tuesday. Remember, this is the show where you get to learn on matters of business, the economy, and also a bit of technology. So use the hashtag Biashara Tuesday on all social platforms. I'll be able to see your feedback and also what your thoughts are on the conversations that are happening here on the show. Welcome to KUTV. First of all, this is KUTV Rise Today. It's a morning breakfast show that comes to you 2 days of the week. Yesterday, you had Current Blessing on Art and Culture Monday. Today, Biashara Tuesday with me all the way to 10 in the morning. There's a lot that's happening in your world. We're going to try as much as possible to highlight the most important bits of it, the developments from last week, and also what's going to happen into the week, but especially what is happening today. Yesterday was Labor Day, an international day for celebrating workers all over the world. And in Kenya, these celebrations, of course, were commemorated and graced by His Excellency, the President. He was silent on setting the minimum wage for workers as legal hitches are hitting that development or progress towards that direction. According to reports that I'm seeing here from the Business Daily, it seems that the setting up of the minimum or this Wages Council, which is supposed to be advising the state on exactly what the minimum wage is supposed to be set for workers. So the delays in setting up of this Wages Council has seen the workers neglected or ignored as they miss out on a pay increase despite this high cost of living, which is now currently squeezing households, and the budgets are tightening as the day goes by. The president was silent on when or how they're going to be addressing this issue and trying to raise the minimum wage, but definitely as Biashara Tuesday, we'll be following up to see where there are strategies which are being implemented, and when or how soon can we expect this Wages Council to be set up, since workers already are suffering due to that rise in the cost of living and of course the economic shutdown all across the world. And this isn't only affecting Kenyans who are living within the country, but also those who are abroad. It looks like lower income minorities, including Kenyans who are working in the United States, are suffering due to this rising cost of living, and they have been particularly hit hard as a larger portion of their income is now being directed toward essential products like food and household items. So this affects the Republic in terms of remittances from the United States. According to the Business Daily here, inflationary pressures in the United States are now squeezing those remittances that we've been seeing from Kenyans into the Republic. Remember that the remittances by Kenyans from the US to Kenya account for 60% of the amount of money that is received in the country from abroad. So here I see that there is a drop of these remittances by 1.1 billion Kenyan shillings, and this is only into the 3 months leading up to 2023. So January, February, and March, there's a drop of 1.1 billion, and this is the first time it's being experienced in the country since 2010. So 13 years later, you can see how hard the economy has been hit in these fears of a looming recession, and of course abroad and domestically we are seeing this happening on households who are now squeezing their budgets. Money sent home fell for the first time since 2010. What is the country going to be doing to address some of these challenges which are experienced locally and also in diaspora? We'll be following up on that one because this is the core of business, and of course these remittances are very key in trying to boost and turn around the economy. In politics, we'll be highlighting the developments of the day. Remember, today is Maandamano Tuesday, and according to the police force, they have not provided any permission towards the side of Azimio, which is expected to be leading this protest in the Nairobi CBD and of course in other parts of the Republic. The police have denied the opposition chief Raila Odinga and his Azimio coalition permission to hold anti-government protests today. So they're expected to happen as they cite that there are fears of violence, looting, and deaths. On his side, Raila maintains that the protests are on today and assures President Ruto that it will be a peaceful affair and no property will be touched. We'll be following up on that as well to see what is happening and whether the police are going to provide adequate security for those Kenyans who are expected to participate there. These are things we are going to be looking at in the newspaper review section that also comes to you here on Biashara Tuesday. Washira was here last week, the president of the TVET Association of Students. He'll be here again this morning to delve deeper into the developments from last week, the protests that are expected today. I remember that on Tuesday, we highlighted that Shakahola massacre, which as of the moment, the chief government pathologist, Johansen Odur, says that DNA samples from families are going to be collected from today, May the 2nd, to help positively identify the bodies which have been exhumed over in the coastal region in the county of Kilifi. Those developments, we'll be talking about them more in the newspaper review section, so grab yourself a copy of the dailies. Washira will be here to tell me much more on what we can expect in this development on politics and also the others, which I've as mentioned there, that conversation on culticism, which has been developing since last week. In matters of technology, the Kenyan content creators who are working to moderate content from Facebook, YouTube, ChatGPT, and TikTok have now formed the largest union of content moderators in the world, numbering up to 200 plus, and now they've voted to, of course, lobby for fair working conditions and better practices, which they have highlighted that they have been undergoing through the period they've been moderating content, some of which is gruesome and has led them to develop psychological issues with little or no support from these big tech companies which have accorded them these jobs. In matters of technology, there are going to be also conversations we're having developing from this and all the way to data science, ChatGPT, and artificial intelligence. I'll be having this morning a data strategy consultant or a data analyst with me here. He's been on the show before. I'll be telling you more information about him, but don't miss out on that conversation that we always have here on the set. And many other conversations which are happening this morning. A team from Hult Prize Kenyatta University chapter are here, the on-campus winner of the Hult Prize 2023 challenge. The call to action from Hult Prize is also a conversation we'll be having to see how these startups are adjusting to that on the road to winning $1 million at the Hult Prize Finals, which happens in New York, the culmination of this happening all across campuses in the world, but also finally to be set in New York. Last year, I always say, Ecobana, they won the $1 million prize, and they were here first before they headed out to New York to win that prize, and they did come back to tell us what their feeling was and where they are implementing the solution that they have. This morning, I'll sit down with others from Kenyatta University. They could be the next winners of that Hult Prize, so be tuning in for that conversation. Send in your questions, and we'll be forwarding them to the guests of the day, and then we can engage much more on matters of Biashara Tuesday. As you can see, there's a lot that is packed on this show, so we'll be telling you much more as we go on. But first, I have to go out to those roads and see, courtesy of Ma3 route, what is it looking like, the current transport and traffic conditions in the city and also in other places of Kenya. Do tell me that. I'll be right back. Don't go far. Right, hashtag beat inconvenience. If you are in the city and you see any form of traffic, give us alternative routes so that wale ambao wajatoka nyumbani, they can try and beat the inconvenience of traffic build-up on those routes. But this is as much as I can receive so far. Jogoo Road ni safi, and Liz Ombui is the one telling me that on Twitter. Jogoo Road safi sana. If you're heading out, it's clear, no traffic jam, no nothing, ni mapolisi tu na lori zao. So same to Langata Road, hapo Bomas, ninaambiwa anti-riot police are on the road already expecting maandamano Tuesday by Raila Odinga and the Azimio side, accompanied by Kenyans who feel they are aggrieved, and this is the way to address it. So Langata Road already, you should be aware, anti-riot police wako kwa barabara, but the traffic is clear if you're heading out to work. Mambo iko shwari hapo. Road Agency Kenya just realized that Mombasa Road has run out of space and is now scrambling to reclaim sections which were auctioned to the Nairobi Expressway. An image here I'm receiving them trying to fix Mombasa Road, and it is being done in such a poor way, according to Keiru Peter. Yesterday evening there was massive traffic jam from GKI all the way to Mlolongo, and this is owing to flooding. There's flooding over in Mombasa Road, and this is creating trouble in terms of traffic for the normal road. But if you're on the expressway, hakuna shida kama hizo, you can try and use that. How is it outside? Watu wa Thika Road, Muthoni anauliza, and then Sami Maina. Sami Maina saying nothing much to call home about. Actually, there's less traffic. But earlier, I had seen that around 5:45 in the morning, there was a tire burning on Thika Road in the middle lane at exit 6, after exit 6. Drive carefully. Mulish Dot giving us that information. Where is exit 6 exactly on Thika Road? Wale wako Thika Road, tuangalie exits. Mtuambie exit 6 ni wapi hapo. Drive carefully as you enter Kangemi from Tao. It's messy. There are big stones thrown across the road. We don't know whether this is owing to the build-up of those protests, anti-government protests, but it's messy. So if you're getting, as you enter Kangemi from town, be wary of what is happening there. A very good morning to everyone above ground. We give thanks to God. And pedestrians, please walk and drive safely. Remember, arrive alive. Chelewa ufike salama. Very heavy traffic, snarl up at Gilgil. Kuna nini jameni? If you have any idea of what is happening in that snarl up, still on Naivasha to Gilgil Road from yesterday to this morning, pia utuambie. Gilgil Nakuru ni parking lot since yesterday hadi saizi. Tuambie kunaendeleaje huko. Kuna shimo or pothole Valley Road on or after God's Mercy. Ama sini God's Mercy. I'm not understanding that tweet correctly, but kama uko pothole Valley Road, please tafadhali tuambie what's happening there. I was not going to be with my kids today. Traffic is holding me down. What is happening along the Gilgil Nakuru stretch? Standstill since yesterday, almost an hour yesterday, and I'm seeing here this morning also, police are now using force to tame rogue drivers. If you have any more information, please do inform us. So that's as much as I can gather so far in Nairobi and its environs, but kama uko kwingine Kisumu, kwani hamna traffic build up in Nakuru as well, tuambie, and we'll be back with much more. But now, the news updates from yesterday night coming up to this morning. What is happening in the world of politics? What can we expect? And then I can switch back to Biashara Tuesday. Don't go far. News updates are coming to you. If you don't tag me, I won't see it. So tag me at Richard_OKENYE on Twitter. Use the hashtag Biashara Tuesday on all social platforms. That's my handle. The station's handles at KUTV. Actually, all these handles, all these contacts are somewhere here on the screen. on this thing that's running here. The hashtag is there, all the tags that you want to use, the SMS/WhatsApp numbers. Tell us how you're feeling this morning. How is it where you're at? Who do you want to tune into the show? We're streaming live on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, on YouTube, KUTV Kenya Live. That's why you can follow the show. Even if you're moving away from your television sets, it should be easy for you to follow through, give us a comment, feedback, anything. Reply to all the others who are also commenting there and have a good time. I'll be able to see that. Conversations are coming up later that you don't want to miss out on. I'd said that Kennedy Wangari will be here. He's a data scientist. So I had introduced him as a data analyst, and those are two different things. The art of data is broad, and he'll be here to put everything into perspective. He's also a developer advocate, and he's been trying to build data products and informing intelligent biodiversity through deep learning AI, something that you should be Googling as we wait for Kennedy to come here. He's been trying to build and empower people through AI technology in the communities that he's been, and the robust talent pipeline that is there in Africa. How can we do this? How can we leverage and how can we interface science, policy, and practice to ensure that we are addressing the various global finance crisis that we are facing? Kennedy Wangari will be here. You should be looking forward to that conversation. He's been on the show before, has worked previously with the UNEP. He has worked with Safe Border. He has worked with NVIDIA, and he's currently gearing towards starting his master's in something revolving around data, and I think it should be artificial intelligence over in the United Kingdom at the University of Edinburgh. So as he is gearing towards joining in September, he'll be on the show this morning to tell us his journey so far and what kind of products he's building. If you want to venture into this career of data analysis, data scientist, what can you do and what steps you do take forward into realizing that dream? So look forward to Kennedy Wangari being on the show. If you're a friend of him, if you are aware of his work, please be looking at that, and then any questions that you have, do send them and we will be forwarding them to him. Ndula is a revolutionary eco-friendly shoe manufacturer that is changing the way we think about footwear. So this morning I'll be speaking to two very interesting people, and they are the winners of the on-campus challenge of the HALT Prize 2023. The call to action this year, the theme for HALT Prize 2023 is fashion, sustainability, and innovation. The co-founder and co-CEO of Ndula Footwear, Monari Magoto, will be here this morning, and accompanied by Cecilia Jeruto, who's also co-founder at Ndula Footwear. How did they get to learn about HALT Prize? What are they doing towards winning the $1 billion prize that is set there towards the end of this challenge? And so far, what are they trying to solve? What problem have they seen in society in fashion? And they've tried to innovate around sustainability. And how are the products going to be looking like? Once they win the $1 million, as we always ask, what are the first steps they're going to take to realize this dream of sustainability? So those conversations are coming up. Be tuned in for that. The newspaper review section as well with Kimani Wachira. He was here last week, the president of the TVET Students Association. So tune in for that. But first, I promised you the news updates. So here they are, KUTV news updates. Don't go far. I'm coming back with them. And aptly, we have to start with Labor Day politics. President William Ruto, when gracing over his first Labor Day celebrations as president, stated that he will be in the forefront in protecting businesses from distraction in the upcoming Azimio protests, which are scheduled for today. According to President Ruto, his government will not allow for distraction of property, affirming that the preparedness of the government is there ahead of this Azimio protests.
Just a day before the resumption of the Azimio One Kenya protests, President William Ruto has cemented that he will deliver according to the Constitution on protecting businesses and properties from destruction. Ruto, who was speaking as he graced over Labor Day celebrations, called on Kenyans to continue with their daily activities as usual, stating that enough security will be deployed in the streets to prevent distractions.
Haiwezekani sitaruhusu mali ya mwananchi kuharibiwa, biashara ya mwananchi kuharibika, kazi ya mwananchi kuharibika, watoto wetu ati wasiende shule, ati kwa sababu kuna watu wanataka kutulazimisha ati tugawane serikali. That one will not happen, good people. Tuelewane tu mapema kwa sababu that is the Kenya we live in. We are a democratic country and we want the best for everybody.
Additionally, Ruto has reached out to the opposition side to stop misleading Kenyans and embrace the bipartisan talks in parliament, adding that his government has a plan to revive the economy and that his regime will not discriminate anyone no matter where they voted.
Sisi tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba kila mwananchi anaweza kulisha familia yake. Tunaelewana jameni? Tumeongea mambo ya unga left, right and center. Mimi mwenyewe niliwaahidi ya kwamba tutakuwa na mpango ambayo itateremusha gharama ya maisha. Na hiyo mpango watu wengine hawaelewi. Unga sio ya kwamba inapunguzwa bei ati kwa shelf. Unga inaanza kupunguzwa bei kwa kumsaidia mkulima shambani.
The second in command, Rigathi Gachagua, on his part, has encouraged the Azimio team to consider the bipartisan talks, highlighting that the mass protests will not offer any solutions.
We still urge them to consider to proceed in the bipartisan talks in Parliament. In the unfortunate event that they decide that they don't want to go that route, and they want to go to the streets, they must understand that the president has a constitutional duty to protect life and property.
Secretary General of Central Organization of Trade Union KOTU and an ally of Azimio, Francis Atwoli, weighed in on the matter where he asked his Azimio counterparts to call off the Azimio protests for the sake of Kenyans. This being the first Labor Day celebrations under President William Ruto's regime, the politics of today has unfolded, where the president has called on Kenyans not to be led astray by political affiliations, cementing that his government is ready to protect Kenyans' properties ahead of the planned mass protest. Edward Nyamo, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you very much, Edward Nyamo, for that report from Labor Day. Looking at reporters, when they are doing their reporting on Labor Day, you wouldn't know how much struggle they've gone through the whole day to ensure that they do that report at the end. So that's a great feat. But still, sticking on that conversation or that remark by President William Ruto, price of unga. It's been promised by the government that the prices of unga are going to be dropping after every 5 days. Their terminologies keep changing, but if you're out in the stores today, or you have been there during the weekend or since last weekend, please tell us if there's any brand of unga that you've noticed whose price has dropped to 150 or the price that the president is currently promising. I'd love to see what the price ranges are looking like as we go on with matters of business. Now, Central Organization of Trade Unions, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, has urged President William Ruto to find a way to unite the country. Atwoli has stressed the need for both parties to engage and avert street protests, which he warned could slow down the economy at the expense of Kenyans.
I'm prepared. And the president is here, is prepared, pamoja na deputy wake na prime minister, waangalie, hata kama ni ile kazi yake ilikuwa ya kuangalia mabarabara ya Afrika ama uchairman mwingine hapa, tumtafutie mambo ya hapa ndani.
The president persuaded us that it is useful to give dialogue a chance. The Azimio people have been given a chance, but they have instead decided to go back to the streets.
Right. Azimio One Kenya coalition on its end, its leader Raila Odinga as of yesterday announced that the coalition is set to resume protests today. Odinga has stated that the mass action protests will kick off in Nairobi Central Business District at 6 a.m. This is despite President William Ruto issuing a warning over the planned protests that has been termed as destructive to the economy.
Protests are a must return. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga, who has addressed the press today at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Foundation, has stated that the mass action protests will resume tomorrow early in the morning with an assembly in CBD.
We confirm that they are on tomorrow, beginning 6 a.m. on the 2nd of May 2023. As we stated yesterday, the Constitution of Kenya, which in Article 37 provides that every person has the right peacefully and unarmed to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket.
Raila says that the coalition aims to present petitions to the Office of the President, the IEBC officers, and the National Treasury. He wants IEBC servers to be audited, President Ruto to cease interfering with other political parties' affairs, and the National Treasury to release funds for counties.
Our people have been told to be peaceful. They're not even going to go to where people's places are. You're not going to markets. You're not going to shops. You say you're going to assemble at the Central Park in the city of Nairobi and march to the IBC headquarters and present a petition there.
Raila has also said that the coalition intends to stage peaceful protests that adhere to the constitutional provisions. Raila has also blasted the police, saying that they have been on the forefront in igniting violence in peaceful protests.
That provision has not been suspended, and our demonstrators tomorrow have been informed, I repeat here, that tomorrow's demonstrations are going to be peaceful. Nobody is allowed to carry any weapon, and nobody should try to interfere with anybody's private business. We are basically demonstrating to present our petitions to respective authorities.
The mass action protests by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition are set to make a comeback owing to disagreements between the government and the opposition on bipartisan talks. Joseph Kess, KUTV.
Joseph Kess for that. A section of Kenyans yesterday made their way to Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi to celebrate Kenyan workers. Yesterday's Labor Day celebrations were organized by the Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, and was graced by President William Ruto. Salma Swale tells us more on how the events of that day unfolded.
At exactly 9 a.m., the doors of Uhuru Gardens were opened to allow Kenyans secure seats ready for the 58th Labor Day. However, just a number of Kenyans turned up at the event, despite the garden being decorated with the flag of Kenya and purple-colored deckers all over the field. The security of the event was, however, ensured, with several police units patrolling in and out of the garden. The ceremony started by 11 a.m. with entertainment from the Kenya Police Band and the COTU Choir Group, together with a poem from Joseph Omari and comedy from Mama Kayai. President William Ruto later made a grand entrance with his convoy of police, motorcade and several cars a few minutes later after the arrival of his Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Showcasing of companies and organizations was later done, with housemaids carrying buckets, their tools of work.
Wako sawa sawa, wako sawa sawa, mbolea bei nafuu.
different leaders gave their speech after prayers, led by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and completed by President William Ruto on his speech about unga. This is the first ever National Labour Day for President William Ruto since he got into office, marking it the 58th Labour Day since the start of Labour celebrations in May 1st, 1963. Due to the harsh economical times experienced in the country, few Kenyans turned up to the 58th Labour Day compared to the previous years. Salma Swaleh, KUTV.
Thank you very much, Salma. A section of Kenyan workers thronged Uhuru Gardens yesterday to join in the celebration of the work they've put in to help in building the country. And as Ruth Wanjiru now reports, the workers joined in with a hope of a better working environment moving forward amid cries of a relatively high cost of living. This being the first ever Labour Day celebration graced by the Kenya Kwanza Coalition as a ruling government.
The Labour Day celebrations bring together workers from different sectors in the country to champion for their rights. However, most workers look forward to this day with hopes that there will be an increment in salaries. This year, however, saw disagreements between the Federation of Kenya Employers Director Jacqueline Mugo and COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli about the increment of salaries based on the high cost of living.
I know that my brother Francis will be asking for an increase in the statutory minimum wage because this is actually in his DNA and it is a role that unions play. But we request that looking at the current state of the economy, we allow businesses to stabilize.
Na kwa niaba ya hawa naomba tu, sina nguvu na yeye safari yako kuja kuonana na sisi, labda next year tutasema kwa vile ulitupatia mwaka jana, hii mwaka ya pili tutakupa kupumzika kidogo kuangalia mambo mengine, lakini leo tutoke na kitu kidogo kwa mfuko. That one I leave to you, Your Excellency.
President Ruto, while presiding over the event, stated that he is ready to work with leaders from the Ministry of Labour to ensure the workers' welfare is looked into, citing that it's his responsibility to provide employment for Kenyans.
Kenyan workforce is what will shape the destiny of our country. Na kwa sababu hiyo, kwa sababu the Kenyan labor force is that important to the development of our country, we must look after it, we must work for it, and we must make it possible for it to grow, expand, and flourish.
In relation to savings, the head of state cited that the Kenya saving culture is lower compared to other countries, which is why most Kenyans retire poor even after working hard for years. While speaking about NHIF contribution, the president also stated that every Kenyan is set to pay 2.7% of their salaries, which Atwoli seconded, stating that the plan is loaded with benefits.
Na kuanzia miezi miwili iliyopita, sasa kila mfanyikazi analipa 6% na kila employer analipa 6%. Na unajua, the beneficiary here, good people, the beneficiary is the worker.
We are part now and parcel of 6%, and we know for sure that when we exit from what we are doing as employees or members of various trade union organizations, we will be able to benefit out of that in order to avoid the old age poverty.
Among other issues addressed during the celebrations include government to invest 30 billion in agriculture and 5 billion to expand markets for farm crops, strengthening foreign sales, promoting small businesses by improving business environment, developing the economic digitally, bilateral deals to allow Kenyans work abroad.
As the country marks the Labour Day celebrations, President Ruto has stated that his government is working on strategies to ensure that the welfare of workers is being looked into. However, workers have urged the government to make sure that they look into their rights, especially on the issue of delayed salaries. Ruth Wanjiru, for KU TV.
All right, thank you very much, Ruth Wanjiru, for that report. Now moving on away from Labor Day celebrations, over in the coastal region, a post-mortem done on 10 bodies, 8 children and 2 adults, exhumed at the Shakahola forest led by government pathologist Johansen Oduor, are said to show signs of starvation, but 2 of them had cyanosis, which means they could have been suffocated to death. The bodies belonged to the Good News International Church.
The government has conducted a post-mortem on 10 bodies exhumed from the Shakahola forest, believed to be followers of the controversial Pastor Paul Mackenzie. The exercise is being conducted by a combined team of government pathologists led by Johansen Oduor, detectives from the homicide unit, forensic unit, and government chemists, among others. Oduor says that all bodies showed signs of starvation, but revealed that 2 of them indicated they had cyanosis, which is the blue discoloration of fingers which could have been caused by asphyxiation, which means they could have been suffocated to death.
We saw features of people who have not eaten. There was no food in the stomach. The layer of fat was very small. The liver was fatty. These are things we look for in people with starvation.
The government pathologist said that all the internal body organs were intact in the bodies of those who underwent the post-mortem. He also added that they had to conduct an X-ray to estimate the ages of the victims.
We decided that we have to do X-ray on bodies of everyone for the purpose of age estimation. Remember, many of those were children. We needed to know their ages, so that's why we took some time.
He further said that the body they conducted post-mortem on, 1 body was of a female adult and the rest were children aged from 1.5 years to 10 years, stating that most had features of starvation.
We only managed to do 10 postmortems. Of these 10 postmortems, the 1 body was of an adult female and the rest were children. These children's ages were varying from 1.5 years to 10 years. Generally, most of them had features of starvation.
The pathologist cited that from Tuesday they will begin the other post-mortem, which will be faster considering that they have already set up the X-ray. Samples of the autopsies were taken for further testing for DNA identification.
So those are the autopsies we've done. We have taken samples for further tests, which include toxicology and DNA for the purpose of identification. Tomorrow we are going to start the other process, which we know that will be more seamless because already the X-ray has been set up, so that we'll be able to do more tomorrow.
Interior CS Kidure Kindiki in the morning said that the process could take 1 week and the other one for the DNA up to 1 month. So far, 110 bodies have been exhumed and the operation is going on in Shakahola forest using technology and area surveillance. Ruth Wanjiru for KU TV.
Mio party leader Raila Odinga has stated that President William Ruto does not have the power to create a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the Shakahola massacre as per the constitution. This follows President Ruto's statement to create that judicial commission of inquiry to do the investigations.
Amidst the ongoing investigations on the Shakahola massacre, Azimio Party leader Raila Odinga says that Ruto announcement to create a judicial commission to investigate the Shakahola massacre is one of the problems the country is facing with the Kenya Kwanza regime.
Ruto's announcement on Shakahola underscores part of the problem we are facing as a country with the Kenya Kwanza regime.
Odinga claimed that President William Ruto lacks the power to propose creation of a judicial commission of inquiry to prove the death of Shakahola victims because it has been unconstitutional since 2010 and he is undermining the constitution.
Ruto does not seem to know that the concept of a judicial commission of inquiry appointed by a president is unconstitutional in Kenya since the year 2010.
So far, 110 bodies have been exhumed from Shakahola, with police holding the controversial preacher as investigations on the mass killings continue. Salma Swaleh, KU TV.
Police in Garissa have confirmed that 4 men who were arrested on Sunday while carrying 4 rifles, 19 magazines and 500 bullets are not terrorists, but member of the National Police Reserve that is based at the Kenya-Somali border in Wajir County. A senior police officer said they have been helping local police in detecting and fighting Al-Shabaab militants who cross from Somalia for a mission. Beryl Chelagat has this story.
4 men who were arrested on Sunday after a tip-off from the public have today been confirmed as members of the National Police Reserve and not terrorists. Report shows that the 4 traveled to Garissa without notifying the local security teams. Addressing the press after the incident, Garissa County Police Commander Thomas Ngeiwa said that they got a tip-off that the suspects were dressed in police uniform and were terrorizing residents in the area.
Like 30 hours, we received information from our officers that while they were on their normal patrols along Nono area, they got information that there were some people dressed in security attire terrorizing members of public along those cut lines.
He also noted that they were able to recover 4 firearms, 19 rifle magazines, 543 rounds of ammunition, and several mobile phones from the suspects who were using a Toyota Probox.
Managed to spot a Probox vehicle which had 4 occupants. On further interrogation, they discovered that each of the 4 occupants had an AK-47 with 5 rounds, with 5 magazines, each with AK-47 rifle, and each rifle had 5 magazines loaded with a lot of ammunition.
He commended the residents for being on the lookout as the county and its neighboring areas are more often attacked by terrorists.
We want to commend members of public for volunteering the information which led to the recovery of what we have seen here.
This comes amid heightened security following that Al-Shabaab terrorists have been attacking places in the region, especially in Mandera and Garissa counties, which have left dozens of civilians and security officials dead and wounded. Beryl Rotich, KUTV.
Now, in Embu County, water consumers have strongly decried high water tariffs following a move by the Water Regulatory Authority to implement a section of the Act that was passed in 2021 from 250 shillings to 600. And this happened during the annual meeting attended in Itabwa Muthatari Water Society in Embu County.
Following a move by the Water Regulatory Authority to put a section of the Act that was passed in 2021, Embu residents have decried high water tariffs. Members of the Itambua Mutadhari Water Society, which was founded in 1993, complained about the increase from 50 cents to 5 shillings per cubic meter of water, which they say is 900%, which is not affordable in the current economic times.
Tunaitisha usaidizi kama mimi niko na watoto shule. Sasa hiyo maji imesemekana mambo ya kuongezewa pesa shilingi 600, mimi sitaweza. Na nimesema kwa niaba ya kila mtu kwa hiyo kijiji yangu.
Manyata MP Gitonga Mukonji, who was addressing the members of the society, said that he will initiate a motion in parliament on why the Water Regulatory Authority did not issue public presentation as required by law.
Ya pili nataka kujua timeline yake ya kufanya ile kazi. Already contract yake I know ame-extend. Si ni kweli? Anafaa kuwa amemaliza. Kwa hivyo nitakuwa hapo nikiuliza maswali ambayo itaweza kupea direction hii mradi yetu.
The members have lamented that the constructor expanding the water project has abandoned it and the residents are now calling on government intervention. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
All right, that brings us to the end of the updates this morning on Biashara Tuesday, KUTV Rise Today. Please do follow the rest of the broadcast at KUTV Kenya, the programming. There's more updates that come later on, 6:30 p.m., 9 p.m. prime time. That's where you get the news updates at. But now, I want to switch back to the conversations of the day that are surrounding business and innovation. This morning, I'm sitting down with a couple of guests who are happy to join us here to give us information on the ventures that they are currently pursuing and how exactly that is faring on. But first, to acknowledge the people who are tuning into the show so far. Kimani Wachira is tuning in, but also will be on set for that conversation on the newspaper review. So please do watch out for that. Nana Muigai also watching the show. Asante sana. Jesse Leslie, all the way from Kibera, watching the show. Dr. Forty and Papa Shams watching together as well here on Twitter, interacting with me. Japrado, who's Dr. Austin Omondi, was here on the show before, also tuning into the show this time, not as a guest, but also as a viewer and an audience member. Shikamaru, thank you for tuning into the show. And also the guys who are on Facebook and YouTube, we'll be looking at that. See on Facebook, We TV, kwa sababu mambo ni mengi, masani machache, has tuned into the show. That's We TV. Thank you for joining us there with alongside Ojwang Mariam. I'll be bringing on set in a short while guys from HALT Prize, and the winners of the on-campus challenge for the HALT Prize chapter. 2023 HALT Prize challenge is seeking for guys to redesign fashion, launch an innovative social venture in the clothing and fashion industry, and make it more sustainable. So Ndula are a footwear brand, and they're trying to do that, to design fashion and try to make it more sustainable. I'm sitting down with the co-founders of this team. They'll be on set to introduce themselves and also their venture. Don't miss out on that, because they are on their way to $1 million at the HALT Prize Finals, which is the culmination of this event that happens every single year. Tune in for that if you're interested in the startup scene and the startup ecosystem. What lessons can you learn? If you have an idea around redesigning fashion or sustainability, I think you'll be able to pick 1 or 2 points from my guests of the day. So I am excited for that conversation. And if you are, tell me that on social platforms, and I'll be right back with you.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swaibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Technovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
There are conversations that are happening here on Biashara Tuesday, and the hashtag you're supposed to use is the hashtag Biashara Tuesday. That's the only way, or actually the fastest way I can get to see your feedback. But the other ways, the stream that is here on Facebook and on YouTube, KUTV Kenya live on YouTube, but also the SMS/WhatsApp numbers. Tag me as well. There's so many avenues for you to use. Don't just throw your comment out there into the wind and expect me to find it. But I'm finding a couple so far. The Tracy Wahoo tuned in to my favorite show. That has to be this one, right? Because the comment is on Biashara Tuesday. Thank you for making it your favorite show, Tracy. And be tuned in all the way to the end. There are conversations which are coming up. Right now, I am already on set with guys from the Ndula team. They won the on-campus challenge for Halt Prize Kenyatta University. I'll be showing them to you in a while. I'm just hiding them somewhere here next to the cameras, but they will be with you. The co-founders of that Ndula innovation, Cecilia Ruto, co-founder of Ndula Footwear, here accompanied by CEO and co-founder, or is it co-CEO and co-founder? That is Monari Magoto of this Ndula footwear brand. We'll be getting to know more about them in a while. But later on as well, the conversation on data science, I'm having it with a data scientist, Kennedy Wangari. He's been on the show before, back then when he was very focused in matters of artificial intelligence. And this was way before. And now he is looking forward to building products around data And how is he doing that, even as he gears towards undertaking his master's in this particular field of artificial intelligence over at the University of Edinburgh in the United Kingdom? So that is an exciting conversation that will happen later on after we get to discuss a few issues about Ndula with the guys from Ndula Footwear. The newspaper review section as well, don't forget about that. It will be coming up, so get yourself a copy of the Business Daily, the Daily Nation, and the Standard as well. The one that I've seen so far, the headline, the one that I'm focused on, so of course the Business Daily, which is the core of our Biashara here. The headline there, money from Kenyans abroad dips for the first time in 13 years. The biting of the rising cost of living is affecting all economic centers across the world, and Kenyans who are in the United States are also suffering in terms of the remittances they've been making. For the first time in 13 years since 2010, those have dropped to 1.1 billion, and this is only in the first 3 months of the year. How can we make sense of this and all the other developments? That is a conversation happening in the newspaper review section with Kimani Wachira, the president of the TVET Association of Students in Kenya. Going for the break to bring back the guys from Ndula. Don't go far. They say that the wearer of the shoe is the one who knows where it pinches the most, I think, or something like that. And Hat the Band says, uliza kiatu. So leo tunauliza wale ambao wanatengeneza kiatu kabla tuulize kiatu. Guys from Ndula are here. Welcome, guys. Right. First of all, congratulations. Before I introduce you to our audience, congratulations for winning that on-campus challenge. It's not a small feat. How are you guys feeling after that? Or how did you feel then, and how are you feeling now before we get to know what you do at Ndula? I'll start with the lady.
Okay. For what we were feeling then, I believe all our hard work had paid off, so it was a rest period. But for now, it feels like it's a new fit we have to go. So we have to put in more effort to get to where we want to go. That is past the regionals, obviously, and to the 1 million USD.
All right. Yeah. The excitement seems to have, died down a bit, deservedly so, because there's work to do ahead. Yeah. Are you still excited, or pia wewe imepungua kidogo kazi sasa?
I think immediately after we won, I was very excited. I was trying to keep calm and, not trade too much, but I was really excited. But after winning, you realize that there's more work to be done because the competition is not over yet. We still haven't brought the product to the market, so it's still a long journey. And yeah, there's still a bit of excitement because that reminds us it's possible, but now we're looking forward to doing more.
All right, let's talk Ndula now as we look forward to what more you guys are planning to do, redesigning fashion, and maybe just to put it into context before you guys can tell us as co-founder and co-CEO and co-founder again, what your roles have been like there, and what you're thinking about Ndula. But at the HealthPrize website, if you can check it out as well at home, healthprize.org, that is healthprize.organization. 2023 HealthPrize Challenge is seeking for guys who are launching innovative social ventures around fashion, clothing and fashion industry, and they're trying to see how you can make it more sustainable. Redesigning fashion is what I'm seeing here. You can get more information on what is happening. I think the on-campus all around the world, the on-campus phase all around the world is done. It's now gearing slowly towards the regionals, and Ndula will be also participating in a regionals contest before they head out to the finals eventually. Guys, the theme here is redesigning fashion. First of all, introduce Ndula to us. Introduce yourself, and then introduce Ndula to us, and then we can get to know how you guys are redesigning fashion.
Okay, so first of all, I am the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer at Ndula currently, and
yeah, I'm Monari Magoto. I am a co-CEO at Ndula.
You said CTO. I think people are used to CEO.
Yes.
CTO is
Chief Technology. Right. I handle all the technological aspects like the applications for Ndula, the websites for Ndula, such things.
All right. Who came up with the word Ndula? Ndula is there. I know it's slang already in Sheng, but who decided Ndula? No, why not Njum?
I thought of Ndula because when we were coming up with the name, we did a brainstorm and we were thinking of naming a shoe brand that was going to, show sustainability and all that. But after thinking for a while, we wanted to have, a shoe name and then add something like eco. And then we realized that sometimes the term eco has been overused, and too many brands are just slapping the word eco on their products to seem as though they were sustainable. So after thinking for a while, we decided that we wanted to, take Kenya to the world. So we wanted to have a name that would be representative of the Kenyan story. Yeah.
All right.
And I thought Ndula would
Hence Ndula.
have a nice ring to it. Yeah.
Nice. I have to admit I'd have been one of those people who went with Eco. Maybe Eco Njum or Eco Viatu or something close to mentioning the environment. But let's get into it and see what you guys are up to. Ndula is trying to use plastic and fabric waste to create interchangeable soles and uppers. I'm being informed the top part of the shoe is called an upper. I didn't know that until today, but they are trying to use plastic and fabric waste to create interchangeable soles and uppers that can be easily replaceable. First, as a co-founder, I'm sure you're very aware of the source of motivation of trying to go this direction. How are you planning to use plastic and fabric waste to create these interchangeable parts of a shoe?
So we thought of plastic because it is the greatest contributor to waste in the environment, and it is the easiest commodity to use while making shoes. So that was our inspiration for using plastic first and foremost.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how is that going to happen now, Bwana CEO?
Yeah. So in terms of the process, what we have in mind is I think about 300 million metric tons of plastic are dumped annually. And of the plastic waste, only I think about 7% is recycled. So what we are looking to do is take the waste from the environment out of landfills and all these places, and then we're going to recycle them into the soles or the uppers. So the idea is first the collection of the plastic waste from the landfills, from the ocean, different places. And then after that, we're going to sort the different plastics. After sorting the plastic, then we get into now the processing of the plastic, and then we're going to have molds for making either the soles or uppers of the shoe. Then the processed plastic is going to be molten into the molds to form now the cast for the shoe. And then further processing to refine it, add insoles and make it more comfortable.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you see Ndula in alignment with the 2023 Health Prize Challenge?
It is redesigning fashion to be sustainable, right? Our the Ndula shoe is and the company is a closed-loop manufacturing kind of organization, such that once you buy the shoe and you are done with it, you should return it to us, so that we give you a discount to the next shoe. That means no plastic from us will end up in the landfill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once I'm done with my shoe, I can bring it back to Ndula.
Yeah.
It's like a trade-in program for shoes. I only see it with smartphones.
Yeah.
So you bring in the old shoe. And what do you plan to do with that? Is this a continuous recycling process?
Yeah, since it's plastic, so it can be recycled to another shoe.
Right. Yeah. Contributing to a more sustainable future.
Then just maybe to add on to what she said, you see, when we are doing the Ndula, the idea is both uppers and soles are interchangeable. So what this does on top of removing plastic waste from the environment is it reduces the amount of materials that go into making a shoe. For example, if you have, you've seen people with 3 different types of Air Nikes, right? Someone has a white one, a black one, a different colored one. So if you have a Ndula, assuming it's of the same design, you're going to have one sole, and then you can have 3 different colored uppers. So instead of having 3 different soles, which you just have one and 3 different uppers, so that saves on the material and it reduces the strain on the
also helps my
environment
look, which means I can change my shoes
and
every
it saves
day,
you cost
but still wearing the same shoe, right?
Yeah.
And saves you cost. That's a very good point to note there. Saving me cost, helping the environment, and making me look good in the process. Let's speak about quality. How is the quality compared then to what I'm already wearing?
So, you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay, so I believe the manufacturing company we're going to use for our MVPs, first of all, is a good company. So we're going to make a more sustainable shoe since we're using plastic and fabric. So using that, the organization's idea to which they make shoes already, maybe they manufacture shoes already or other products. So the process to which they use, we are going to make sure it suits us to make better quality shoes.
All right.
Yeah.
And durability is also ensured in the process?
Yes, actually, looking at the statistics, when you check, most soles are either manufactured using rubber, or plastic or leather. So when we use plastic, it's not really unconventional for starters, so it's not going to compromise the durability. So what this does is, as opposed to rubber, plastic is actually, even if it wears out, with our take back program, we'll be able to take the shoe from you and then give you a new one at a discount. So once your sole is worn out, you bring it to us, we give you a new sole, and then you can reuse your uppers if they're not worn out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that gives your shoe a longer shelf life, actually.
All right. Actually, that's accurate on matters of durability, because the lifespan of the current shoes I have doesn't go past 1.5 years or so. But now let's speak to the technologist for a second. How does technology now come in? How do you come in as a technologist in Ndula?
Okay, for now, since we are in the competition era, I am just making the websites for Ndula that will interact with the customers and other investors, and making the application for Ndula where one can communicate with us directly to purchase or to inquire on some products and such. So that is what I'm doing for now.
Yeah. All right. And in the future, is there going to be like an app, maybe they can get to order shoes or something?
There's actually one, but it's not for the public. It's only within us.
Okay, those are company secrets that she doesn't want to spill here on air. As you were pitching now for the on campus at Kenyatta University, what was the feeling like, and how was the process for you?
I think before I answer that, I'd like to mention that going into the finals, we had won the semi-finals.
Okay.
We came out on top. And then we also had a previous phase in which we were still the top. So going into the finals, we expected to become the first once again. But we knew that we needed to put in more work, because as the competition progressed, you could see that all the other teams were putting in more work, improving their product. So from the group stage to the semi-finals, you'd see other teams have improved their product. So we knew we had to improve our product. So going into the finals, we had a prototype. Yeah, and I think that actually gave us an edge. Having the prototype, it wasn't really a great MVP, but we had put a lot of work into it, doing their work with our hands, because we don't have the capacity to manufacture at the moment. So having the prototype enabled us to show the judges what our vision was. Yeah, and I think they bought into that, and so we became the winners. Yeah, the winners.
All right. Was it a shock to you that you guys won?
I don't want to, but anyway, I think so. Somehow, because the second team was, it was
brutal.
It was brutal. But anyway, we made it. But for me, it wasn't that tough, because I have pitched in Health Prize before. I have volunteered there for a while, and I have pitched in very many competitions. So for me, it was not that tough. But yeah, it was a really great feeling to be the top team.
All right, now going into the regionals, where are you guys going to the regionals? Understand that you decide, right? After the on-campus, you get to decide which regional center you want to go and participate at. Which is yours?
So we were chosen to go to the Nairobi Summit. We wanted to go to Dubai, but visa issues forced us to be placed in Nairobi Summit, because even the organization itself doesn't want to be caught up in visa problems. Kenya and visa problems, it's a thing. So we have been placed at the Nairobi Summit, which will be held at Strathmore University.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be doing the regional pitching at Strathmore University. Bona CEO. Why co-CEO? Where's the other CEO? Where's the other co-CEO?
Actually here with us. Okay. They accompanied us, and the entire team is here to support us.
Okay.
So I actually knew most people would be wondering why do we have a co-CEO.
Yeah.
Initially, we only had a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as we progressed, we realized that particularly for a startup, it becomes important for increased accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when you have a co-CEO, it improves the accountability because, for example, if I was the CEO and I was going out to meet an investor and maybe I was pressed for time to make a decision, I might make a decision that is not exactly in line with the vision of the entire team. Yeah, being that, you know, we're just getting into this space, we are figuring our way around it. So we thought if we had a co-CEO, then it would help to show up the misgivings of the other CEO. So for example, when I'm looking at things, the co-CEO can give me a different perspective, and then now we can come up with a decision that's beneficial to the entire team.
Okay. Did this handshake happen before before you won on campus or after?
It happened after because
Okay.
we're looking for ways to improve. Yeah, and then also one of our mentors mentioned that when you're looking for funding, it shows potential investors that there's increased accountability in the organization.
Right.
Yeah, so the investors are more comfortable knowing this
That you
CEO
have the
just needs to
management
need
of-
the
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
because it's
There's other signatories who are also involved. Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about management as early for a startup. It's rare to see it. I think most startups try to or like to wing. Well, at least for the startups that I've been in, they like just to wing, just co-founder, let's go until some money is in, then we can get to define our roles. Thinking about it early enough is commendable from you guys. Let me hear it from both of you. I'll start with you again there, Cecilia. Now going into the regionals, what different thing do you plan to do as compared to what you've done so far in the steps or the stages that you've been through?
When we were going to the on campus, we were just competing against 5 teams. So our vision was not that big. We were planning to defeat, not planning to win.
Okay.
So I think when we go to the summits, we are looking to become a company, not a startup that is competing with other startups, to become a company. So with that mindset, I believe we can get a bigger picture. So when we go to the Nairobi summits, I think we'll have an edge by thinking as a company and not as a startup.
All right. Is that same for you as well?
Yeah, it is. You know, when you make progress, your dreams begin to crystallize. That's why they say you should break down your goals into smaller bits, because you know the small wins give you fuel to achieve more. So I think that's what has happened with Ndula, and I think just to be a bit more specific, going into the summit, we are currently working on an MVP that is actually wearable and functional, not just a model to show the vision. Yeah, so that is what we are working on to make sure when we get to the summit, people can see the actual product. Yeah, so we are hard at work trying to bring that to a reality.
Oh, you're not wearing the prototype at the moment?
Not yet.
Okay, we'll get to see it at the regionals. Hopefully before you guys go to New York, we can also have me dressed up in Ndula for one Tuesday, right? I'll really appreciate in showing exactly how you guys are going around sustainability. How will you measure the environmental impact? I've noticed you've given us a few numbers there on metric tons of waste or plastic waste all around the world. On a small scale, as a startup, how are you going to measure that now? We've actually had a positive and sustainable impact on the environment.
So to measure the impact we're going to have in the environment, for starters, by our calculations, a single soil approximately weighs between 100 and 800 grams usually. So if someone buys a single pair of Ndula, at the very least, you're taking between 100 grams and 800 grams of plastic waste from the environment. So with that, we'll be able to measure how much plastic waste we're taking from the environment and recycling. Yeah, that's one. So simply maybe 3 million sales times maybe 200 grams of a single soil. Yeah, then we'll be able to know exactly the amount of plastic we're retrieving from the environment. That's one. And then 2, I think also we can measure the impact that we're going to have on the environment in terms of, you see, for us to be able to create the shoe, first of all, we need to have a mechanism behind us that helps us to collect the
the necessary material.
the necessary materials. And this involves working with local communities. We have in mind partnering with universities, maybe schools, so that we can have collection centers. I think that also helps, because we'll be, first of all, creating employment for some of the local communities, and then we'll also be seeing the local communities become cleaner as the waste is being utilized to make shoes.
Right. This hits two of Heart Prize themes in 2 consecutive years. I think last year it was bringing people back to work by 2030, and also this year now redesigning fashion. I think Ekobana did that in one pitch, and also I see Ndula also going that direction. It's commendable. Challenges that you think you guys might face into the implementation phase?
Travel issues. If by God's favor we make it past the regionals, travel and visa issues, obviously, and we are a small team. We are a team of 5. So past in making a company, I'm not sure if 5 will cut it to make a very working company in the
workload will increase.
The workload will increase. So getting other people on board will be another issue. Is what I believe.
If it comes to communication issues, you're already at KUTV, so there's a pool of talent that you can source from. Challenges, Bwana CEO, that you see in the future?
So some of the challenges that I anticipate, particularly in bringing the shoe to life, would be one, manufacturing, because at the moment we do not have the funds to set up a manufacturing plant. And of course, a lot has to go into setting that up to ensure that it's safe for use, to ensure that in processing the plastic, we minimize emissions and things like that, because we don't just want to make shoes, we want to make sure we're also helping the environment. So streamlining the process, seems like it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's something we're constantly working on, doing research, and hopefully we'll secure the funding. Once we're able to secure the funding, then we should be able to set that up and get going.
All right. One thing that shoes are known for, ama Ndula, since we are speaking about Ndula, speaking it here with Cecilia and Monari, who are the co-founders over at Ndula Footwear. One thing Ndulas are known for ni games, right? So people play games, football, nini, and all of that. So would you guys care for a game with me? Yeah? Okay, wacha tucheze hapa kidogo, and then you can have that. All right. So we're going to play this game, and I think for guys who are used to Biashara Tuesday, you've seen the evolution of identify the brand in its various stages, and we try and refresh your brain, your memory, and your knowledge on a variety of issues. So this is what's going to happen, because you guys are first timers. Na wale wako nyumbani, you can grab yourself a copy, a pen and a paper. Alafu tuambie majibu zako ziko aje, or even in the comment section, as we see what our guests here, their knowledge inakaa aje. General knowledge. Unajiaminia?
Yes, ndio.
Na pia ufiche watu iba exam room. All right, so you're going to have a couple of business related questions. People always accuse me of having seen the servers before the game, but I can assure you I'm also not aware of what questions I'm reading. These are provided by my director and producer, Ryan Mgure. We are going to have a countdown, 10 seconds per question. So once the timer ticks off, unaachana nayo, unangoja swali next, and then we're going to mark against each other. Tuone hapa, nani alilala kwa darasa? Let's go. First question. Who is the current CEO of Safaricom? Let's go. All right, question number 2. What is the main source? What is the main source of electricity in Kenya? Let's go. What? Question number 3. Which is the main mode of transportation in Kenya? Walking. Mode of main mode of transportation in Kenya. All right. Question number 4. Which is the most popular sport in Kenya? Question number 5. Which international organization has its headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya? All of them, no? What is the name of the largest supermarket chain in Kenya? Holy snap. Kamindi. Who is the largest international trading partner of Kenya? Holy snap. Question number 8. Which is the largest bank in Kenya by assets? Inajua. Largest bank in Kenya by assets? What is the name of the largest brewery in Kenya? And question number 10, last question, which is the second largest city in Kenya? Alafu mmeweka jibu. All right, okay. 10 questions. I skipped one, so already niko 9 points. How do we exchange this? Letter yako? Then you can have mine. Ama atasema mnaweza peleka beef huko baadaye kwa startup.
Too easy.
Haya, let's go. Question number 1 was who's the current CEO of Safaricom? Ni Peter Ndegwa, lakini hapa naona pass. Hapo wamesema nini?
Peter Ndegwa.
Yeah, you mark against the like an exam, yeah? The second question, what is the main source of electricity in Kenya? The answer being hydro, right? Hydroelectric nimepata. Huyu amesema man-made lakes, wale tunaona hydropower. Question number 3, which is the main mode of transportation in Kenya? Has to be road, no? Road, yeah? At first nilikuwa nimeandika nini? Bus. Mode ni road, yeah? Question number 4, the biggest sport, right? Most popular sport in Kenya, here it's written rugby, football, athletics. Athletics, right? Yes, it's athletics. Achana mambo ya football. Why are you marking nani wrong? Wanaiba. Question next. The largest organization with, or an international organization with headquarters in Kenya. United Nations. It's UNEP, but it's under UN, so I think UN goes. Yeah. This one is actually UNEP. In 9.
Nyango.
It's Nyango, UNEP. How did you know? UNEP, okay. Next question. The largest supermarket chain, right? In Kenya. This is Naivas, Hapa. Quickmart. Oh.
Pass.
It's Naivas. I passed on that one. I tried to think of Tuskys, Nakumatt, Aziko. So it's Naivas, clearly. It saves you money. That's what they say. The largest international trading partner to Kenya was the next question. Here I see China, the US, and the US. That's China. Wow, okay. Oops. The biggest bank in Kenya in terms of assets, it has to be KCB, guys. It's Equity. Na vile nilika na psych, KCB. Here is cooperative. In your farmers. Chana. Question number 9. Question number 9, being the largest brewery in Kenya. Huyu ajui mambo ya pombe ameandika pass.
Kabisa.
Hapo ni EABL. The answer is EABL. And then the last question is the second largest city in Kenya. Sorted to Libya, by the way. Mombasa. Ati mnajitoa.
Wale ulibia.
Hiyo question imedropiwa, lakini wacha tu mark. Thank you very much. You can grade it in the meantime. Alafu kama huyo amekosa 3, it's 7. We all have 7. That's crazy. Tutakujia
remarking
cut 2 later on. Thank you guys for that wealth of knowledge and also for having this conversation with me. I've had fun. I don't know about you. And I wish you all the best with Ndula as you go to the regionals, as you go to the finals. Once you win the $1 million. And I say once. You see, last time when I was sitting here with the guys from Ekobana, I said, once you win the $1 million, and they won. Prophet OKENYE here for you. So, once you win the $1 million, what is your first plan? Si lazima ikuwe according to the startups plan.
I know, but according to the health price plan, company comes first.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
The plan. Okay. Besides, of course, setting up the company, I think once we win the $1 million, I'm going to go for a holiday first. Not with the money, but I'll just take a break.
Oh, leave the money and take a break.
Yeah, leave the money and then take a break and, just take a breather before coming back to re-strategize on how to, make use of the money. And in terms of making use of the money, our priority would be to set up a manufacturing plant, and then to develop a system for ensuring that our closed loop manufacturing is guaranteed, so that we're able to collect, process, and then once we've collected and processed, we ensure that the shoes we're making out of plastic do not end up in the same landfills we were trying to take them out of. So we're going to have a collection mechanism for the shoes themselves. So once it's worn out, you bring it to us, you get a new shoe at a discounted price. So setting up that entire mechanism and the manufacturing plant is going to be our priority.
All right, great. If you don't win, and I say if by a very small margin of chance that happening, 0.001% chance that you don't win, what will be your first reaction and how do you think it will change the direction if it does?
That will be disappointing, obviously, but Ndula will not die. We will continue to look for funding from every kind of innovation organizations from Kenya, from the president himself, so that we can make Ndula, we can bring Ndula to life.
All right. If you don't win, wanna see you disappointment. What else?
Yeah, of course, disappointment. But for me, I'd like to think I'm a very positive person. So the silver lining would be, especially if we get to the global accelerator after the summit, I'm sure we would have learned a lot. On the campus program, we've already picked up a lot of pointers. Going forward, we look forward to learning and learning some more. So I believe we would have learned a lot during the process, and we're going to make use of that education to try and source for funding elsewhere, try and look for different avenues of bringing Ndula to life. Because we're not about giving up.
Right, not about giving up, and it's not just all about halt price. It will be something that can be brought to fruition, even if, of course, the other price does not materialize. Now, finally, a call to guys who want to venture into entrepreneurship first, and then also ukitoa statement yako ya entrepreneurship, add halt price, because we're also trying to ensure that campus students ambao wana watch the show every single year, they are submitting their ideas to halt price and maybe they give it a shot. I know Kenya has won the halt price finals twice, before with Bupas and now with Ekobana, and now going to the third one with Ndula. Things are looking up for this republic, right? So for the young people who want to innovate, give them, something that you think can be helpful for them, and also a call to action for them to try halt price next year when it's open for submission. Use that camera over there.
So for me, while we're doing the activations for Health Prize, telling someone it is possible to win 1 million USD seemed, this is jokes, it's just wasting my time here. And then they pass you, they go their way, something like that. But instead, okay, they pass you, they go to somewhere to drink, to have fun, and waste time, waste actual time. So instead of that, why wouldn't you just go waste your time in something useful? If you think it's a waste of time, just go and sit somewhere. If you see posters outside your school, such and such, just register and cultivate a mind of curiosity. That will get you somewhere.
All right. Yeah. That's very positive there. From you, Munari?
So from me, first of all, I'd like to say that innovation is not the domain of a particular kind of people. For example, I have a background in communication and media, and I participated in the innovation competition, and it became a success. So I'd like to motivate anyone that's listening that if you have an idea, the only way you can bring it to reality is putting in the work. So regardless of whatever field you're in, if you can think of a solution that helps people bridge a certain gap, then definitely go for it. In terms of Health Prize particularly, I'd like to urge everyone in campus to participate in the innovation competition if they have a solution, because it really helps people out here. When I was joining Health Prize, it was really hard for me to pitch in front of people, but now I think it's become so much easier. I've had great experiences, I've learned a lot. So I think beyond the bringing solutions to people, it's also important that because it gives you an avenue to grow yourself. Yeah.
All right, those soft skills, very important. Pitching, communication, teamwork, and all of the other stuff that comes with working with a number of people. I forgot to tell you guys to mention the rest of the team members. I think it's important because they have also rightfully contributed towards the Ndula footwear brand. Who's going to take that mantle? You? Yeah.
So on our team, we have David Mutinda, who is our co-CEO. And we have Humphrey Okioma, he's our Chief Design Officer. And we have Bridget Wanjiru from JKUAT, who is our Chief Financial Officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Ndula comes to life, and I have me a pair of Ndulas, I'm hoping that the Chief Design Officer atakuwa on set so that we can also speak about the design. Maybe nitampatia design yangu.
Yes.
And then customize here for me. But that is Ndula. If you're tuning in right now, I've been having a conversation with Cecilia Jeruto and with Monari Magoto, who are co-founders of the Ndula footwear brand. With Ndula, you can mix and match styles and colors to create a shoe that fits your unique style and preferences, all while making a positive impact on the environment. They're trying to do this and in parallel with the Health Prize 2023 challenge, and they're on their way to the regionals, and then the next step, hopefully, they do win the finals. All the best to you guys, and please do come back again.
We will.
All right.
Thank you, and we look forward to your insight on the designs. Feel free to share.
Of course. I'm humbled to have that opportunity. Going now for a break, take a cup of water, come back with Kennedy Wangari, a data scientist. He's been on the show before, but today we speak artificial intelligence and data science. So many developments have happened since the last time he was here. ChatGPT, OpenAI, DALI, and so many other chatbot technologies which are founded upon artificial intelligence. How do you make sense of all of this, and how do you adapt to the moving times in terms of work which is being impacted by these new technologies? Biashara Tuesday takes a short break. I'll be right back.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
to the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Terrell.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali. So make sure manzo tune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila uoga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
All right, welcome back and thank you for keeping it here on Biashara Tuesday. The show is on air, show ni kubwa, tutag, jina kubwa sana. Biashara Tuesday ni jina kubwa kwa mtandao. Ukitutag pale, we'll be able to see you and you will be able to see us. More feedback is coming in. I see Steve Vo on Facebook anasema always nice to see the youth being innovative. Congratulations to the team, which is Team Ndula, and wishing them a success in Halt Prize competition. We've had a conversation with Halt Prize on-campus winners at Kenyatta University, and they're gearing for the regionals in Strathmore. They're innovating around footwear with their Ndula footwear brand, so check them out and be following to see whether they will win the $1 million that is promised at the end of that journey. I'll be reading more feedback for those guys who are sending in on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, where we are streaming live, KUTV Kenya live on YouTube as well. So if you're heading out from your television sets, it should be easy for you to follow through with this conversation. Mashari Angatia is saying this: the idea of people relying on AI to provide answers instead of figuring things out for themselves has raised concerns about the future of learning. What could be the impact of such dependence on tech? I am unsure about this and would like to know your perspective on this matter. Let me just get that again. The idea of people relying on AI, which is artificial intelligence, to provide answers instead of figuring things out for themselves has raised concerns about the future of learning. What could be the impact of such dependence on tech? I am unsure about this and would like to know your perspective on this matter. The perspective we are getting here in a short while is that of Kennedy Wangari, who's a data scientist. He has been on the show before. I keep saying that. If you go to YouTube and type Biashara Tuesday Kennedy Wangari, I'm sure you'll get a couple of those ones. And he's an award-winning data scientist and also a developer advocate. He's building better data products and informing intelligent biodiversity and climatic change policy development at UNEP. We're going to hear what his work has been like at UNEP, but also what is the impact of AI on jobs and the future of work? What are some of the actual physical and verifiable use cases in Kenya where artificial intelligence is being used, and how can you adopt it to your small-scale business, work, or day-to-day activities? That's the conversation that's happening here. We'll be right back. All right, artificial intelligence. Let me read the definition, yeah? The definition of artificial intelligence here according to the Webster dictionary. The theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translating between languages. Artificial intelligence is a field which combines computer science and robust data sets to enable problem solving. I have a data scientist with me here. Welcome to the show again. Karibu tena sana.
Great, thank you so much. Always an honor and happy to be here.
I think it's been 2 years or so, right? Since we sat here together on the show. So welcome back. For the guys who are watching you for the first time, how would you introduce yourself to them?
Great, thank you so much. My name is Kennedy Wangari. I'm a data scientist working with the United Nations Environment Program. More to that, I'm a developer advocate supporting deep learning.ai efforts in Africa. That's ensuring that our communities have access to world-class knowledge, research tools, and are able to build towards the AI workforce and are able to upskill themselves in this AI-powered future. So besides my day-to-day work that's helping support policy design and development on climate and biodiversity matters at UNEP and building data science products, that's what I do on the side, supporting and strengthening developer communities.
All right. Last when we were here on the show, you were strengthening and supporting developer communities that were centered around universities in Kenya. Back then, I think it was around JKUAT and the community in Nairobi. And now we're taking it to the UK. Tell us about that.
The last 2 years, from the last time I was here, we've experienced even at within our country great progress, great milestone towards adoption of artificial intelligence solutions, and also having the public being aware of these emerging technologies. So we've experienced a lot in terms of being able to solve our social and economic problems. A good example is also on the aspect of the developer communities. Now we have more vibrant communities. Back the time we were just having conversations around building communities within the universities. Now we're talking of even having accelerator programs. We have Moringa School, we even have universities such as Strathmore, USIU, JKUAT now having master's programs, basically to bridging that gap to ensure that we're all able to access these data science and machine learning knowledge. And beyond that, even at government level, we've been able to experience a lot of milestones from even having the Office of the Data Commissioner. The last time I was here, we didn't have such an office.
That's true.
There's also the awareness programs and also a lot of initiatives on policies to ensure how are we collecting our data, how are we utilizing our data. So from the government perspective, there's also a lot that has been done on legislation, policy framework to basically ensure that we have a conducive, thriving environment. At company levels, again, most companies now, we're talking of funding. If you even look at the recently launched or released rather Global Government AI Readiness Index Report 2022, we're yet to get to have access to the Global AI Access Readiness 2023 report. But then we look at Kenya, it has been positioned at position 4 in terms of its readiness towards adoption intelligence. So we can see that, and even also at organizational level, there's a lot in terms of funding. We're looking at a lot of startups pitching their tents in Kenya, a lot of Kenyan-based startups that are leveraging on artificial intelligence, and even others. I was even having a chat with someone who's building a startup that's leveraging on ChatGPT and its solutions. So in terms of even at company level, we have a lot of funding being channeled to Kenya from global level, at country level. We even have during Jamhuri Day, there were a lot of promises that the president made, from even accessing knowledge, would go on and gave a lot of progress and milestones that we've made as a country towards upskilling our people, towards ensuring we have the infrastructure in place, towards research and development. And even an exciting thing is that we're hoping, there's already work in progress behind the scenes to ensure that in this new month of May, that we have the Kenya National Center for Research in Robotics and Artificial Intelligence coming up. So would go on and give an account of what has taken place in the last 2 years.
Quite exciting developments.
Great milestones towards how do we adopt artificial intelligence locally in Kenya, and how do we now think about solving our problems in data-driven ways, and even also at communities. So you see now the conversation has really changed from just supporting communities to learn, to even now getting the support from government level, at organizational level, and it's quite amazing.
Right, it's quite amazing. But it's also quite amazing for you on a personal level, which is, I was talking about there, you are on the road to pursuing your master's in this very specific field. Tell us about that, and how do you feel?
Again, for me, at a personal level, it's been a marathon sprint. 4 years ago, I had my first taste of artificial intelligence at NCBA Bank. Also went through my degree program at JKUAT, and also the work that we've been doing supporting the developer community at the university, and now transitioned to the African continent. I would say my journey has been an exciting one, full of its share of learning, its share of failures, its share of milestones. And I'm excited that personally, I've never stepped into a formal class to study data science or artificial intelligence.
This is not something you were lectured.
I only had one unit in second year, and already by the time I was having that unit, I had already done my data science internship at NCBA, so I'd already been exposed to the world of data. And I would say it's quite an amazing opportunity, because I've walked the other way around. Most of us conventionally tend to first seek the intellectual knowledge in school and then move into the industry to apply their skills. But for me, I've leveraged on any available resources around me, from community building and working with communities, leveraging on courses online, and all these working on with various companies, building my craft on data science internships and all those other contributions on open source data projects. And all these, I would say, they've greatly helped me to build a portfolio that has enabled me to get to a point where I've realized what are my interests, my specific research interests. And I felt it best that the only way to achieve that I would have to go through a formal school and get a more advanced dosage of artificial intelligence, and that informs how I started looking out in the last 1 year for a master's program specifically on natural language processing, because my research interest is on neural machine translation languages, specifically on Kenyan languages. And this is because I'm informed because of in our country we have 68 native languages, and there's not much considerable work that has been done on availing digital language resources. Again, we're talking of ChatGPT today, which is leveraging on human-like text to maybe to give you prompt responses to help you achieve your tasks. But for me, I'm mainly looking at how do we ensure that we provide digital resources from policy findings, from research findings on the 68 national native languages that we have, to ensure that our people can be able to take part in digital conversations in their own native languages, because my main focus is on the financial sector. So I would say it's been a journey of one, getting to take up data science and online courses, walking through the journey, getting access, getting opportunity to apply data science skills in the industry, in the finance, fintech, and environment space currently at UNEP. And all these informed my interest that I would want to specialize in a particular area. And I think all that has informed my journey towards now seeking a master's, seeking funding, and now at a point now where I'm working towards relocating to start my master's in September at the University of Edinburgh. So it's been a journey of building my craft, learning, supporting the community, gathering feedback from the community, and at the same time also applying my skills in the various industries and the opportunities that I've had.
Moving from the industry and then to academia. That's quite an unconventional path, definitely. How would you describe artificial intelligence then to someone who has no technical background whatsoever?
Great. When we talk of artificial intelligence in layman's term, we define as basically programming or creating a computer application or a mobile application that simulates the human intelligence capabilities. And in this case, we're talking of from the machine vision, how human being is able to perceive something and make a decision, our human and also looking at the natural language processing capabilities of a human being, how you're able to speak or to write something, being able to infuse the human intelligent capabilities from natural language processing, voice processing, and encoding all this in an application that will ensure that you're able to have access to get data-driven decision-making process or data-driven decisions out of that application. So you feed in the data in that particular application that has been coded, and it's able to inform you on data-driven insights. So basically, layman's term is basically building an application. You can build it from scratch, or you can now use ChatGPT that now enables you to just write a few prompts and you have an application. But basically that application mimics human intelligence capabilities.
Right. You've mentioned that ChatGPT, of course, being one of those chatbot technologies which are based off of artificial intelligence. And, when I prompt it, like right now, I just asked it, what should I ask Kennedy about AI in Kenya? And it's told me to ask you, what is your opinion on the impact of AI on job creation in Kenya? So when I see something like this, and that's a question which it spit out 10 of these, 10 similar questions, I won't be using them, of course not so relevant with the discussion, but it still does something, right? It still does something. As a journalist, if I was going to write a script, it will still do a script for me. If I was trying to create a YouTube video, it will still give me that. If I wanted a recipe to cook, I will get that from some of these chatbots, which are at this point being developed by several big tech companies, not just ChatGPT. We have Bard by Google, and we have others who will be definitely bringing forth theirs. What should we be scared? From an expert's point of view, there's a writer out there who's looking at this and they are going crazy because now someone can write a whole book of a chatbot. What happens to my work? Should we be scared, and how can we adjust?
Great. That's a key concern to most, if not all of us. That is artificial intelligence coming in to replace our jobs or to replace us, or is it coming in to complement and to work alongside us, or is it really coming to replace us from our jobs? And all these concerns are amidst coming at a time because artificial intelligence has already, as of now, we've already seen some of the promising benefits and what artificial intelligence can really help us to solve when it comes to addressing the social economic problems. And we've seen the benefits from how we're able to improve our revenue, how we're able to reduce on our operation costs. We'll go on and talk of the promising benefits of artificial intelligence and how it's enabled us to improve productivity. But then we have concerns about, is it really coming in to replace us from our jobs, and what's the future of our work? And what I would say, what I think and I'm looking forward to is that artificial intelligence has really disrupted the labor markets. We've seen sort of those traditional roles, I wouldn't really call them traditional, but some of the roles are getting redefined. We're getting some of these roles, maybe let's say in some areas such as customer service, let's say maybe in the traditional way of bookkeeping, in HR, in almost every sector. Those are redundant roles that will become redundant with now automation coming in.
What happens to me as now a redundant employee? Will it be possible for me to adjust knowing that this is coming?
That's why there's need for us to, almost in every field, to capitalize on the human skills. And the reason for that is because as much as we're advocating for the adoption of artificial intelligence, you realize that artificial intelligence applications don't have the emotional intellect or the abstractive general. They cannot be able to tell between true or false. And as much as we every day we're generating in correct data that we're going to feed into these algorithms, there'll still be need for us as human beings to upskill ourselves on those human creative skills, such as creative skills, problem solving, emotional intelligence. These are skills that we'll still need them because at some point, as much as we're building all these applications, we are projecting towards a future that we call artificial superintelligence. This is where at a level we envision that we'll have a future where AI will fully take over human beings. But before we get there, we'll still need, even as of now, when you're using ChatGPT, you realize at times it gives you wrongful information, errors. So we'll still need human beings to still fine-tune and work along with these applications. And that now brings us to the whole conversation of what's rising now, that what we call augmented intelligence, in that will not replace the human being. We'll still have human beings who will work side by side, basically working pair by pair with these applications, guiding these applications. If it's ChatGPT, on how you're prompting it, the responses, guiding the machine output. So we'll still need human beings, but again, these human beings have to have those human creative skills, because if you don't have those skills, then already your tasks have already been automated by the application. So we'll still need human beings to work side by side with these applications. That's what we call augmented intelligence. That collaboration will be there, and we'll see more of that. And as all this happens, as human beings, there's need for us in almost every field to capitalize on these human skills that will still be commercial. And for us to realize that we yet to get to the level where artificial superintelligence will take over from us, and to ensure that as we build along, there is also the concerns on the ethical issues that's also arising, and probably maybe later we look at, besides us building towards upskilling ourselves on the technical skills and improving on our human skills so that we can work side by side with these applications. What are the ethical concerns? What should we look at? Because again, AI has also already shown us there's the good side and the bad side.
Right. And of course, the bias or ethical concerns come from the data that it's been trained on. Of course, for them to create such a, for example, a chatbot like this one, collecting what human beings interact like on the internet, memes, text, tweets, and Facebook posts, and all of that. And this is all data, right? You are a data scientist. First, how do we differentiate a data scientist and a data analyst? Is there a difference between these two, or is it basically the same role?
There's a thin line, and I think the thin line comes in when we talk of data science. we're looking at more of we're looking at how do we collect our data, how do we process our data, how do we analyze our data, how do we distill insights from that data, and then we move beyond. That's what basically much of data analysis is all about. You basically exploring methods and techniques on how we able to collect our data from our customers, how we either storing it in our databases or from social media, how we processing it, how we analyzing it, whether it's HR data, whether from whichever department, and then how we able to either build dashboards that will give us insights, how we able to tell and convey our stories from the data. That's purely what data analysis is all about. But then data science builds another layer on top that now informs us to help us to anticipate the future, and by that's now where we leverage on what we call predictive modeling. This is where we now our algorithms comes in, that we now have to feed the data that we've analyzed and processed to now ask ourselves, how can we be able to anticipate the future, how can we plan the future, what is the data telling us about the future, and what do we need to put in place in terms of now. That's where we're looking at how do we plan for the future, and opportunities that we can, and this is where examples such as credit scoring modeling, you can have the analysis of how maybe your customers borrowed loans for this particular month. That's maybe a bit of data analysis. But then if now you want to take it a step further on which customers are going to take up loans next month and which customers are going to opt out or not pay the loans. So that's the aspect of predictive modeling. That's now where the second layer of data science would come in, with a bit of modeling, and that's where machine learning supports that. So there's a lot of layers, because above that we have machine learning, deep learning, and the field is evolving. So
it is depth, and it's deep, and it's evolving. For someone who wants to hop onto this evolving sector of the economy, which is technology all across the world, are there some skills? As someone who went through the industry and now is trying to pursue academia, what should I do if I want to pursue any career or any professional path that is related to artificial intelligence? What would you advise someone to do?
Great. That's a great question. One, I believe in almost every field that we're generating data. And that means that in whichever field you're in, from healthcare, transport, cybersecurity, from whichever field, if you're generating data, there's need for us to be data literate. And that's why even from the government level to company level to at community level, we are creating that awareness to ensure that people, one, are aware of these emerging technologies, which artificial intelligence is one of them, and so that they can be able to understand what are its limitations, how does it affect my line of work. If I'm a HR professional, what does artificial intelligence mean to my area of work? What's HR analytics? How do I need? So basically, first of all, having that conversation to understand these emerging technologies, and also understanding what are its limitations in my field of work, and then now moving up to explore what training opportunities, programs that are there that you can upskill yourself. And that's why I'm always passionate to explore more training opportunities to support our underrepresented communities, because even for me, when I started out, I got an opportunity through NCBA to a one-year scholarship to study at Coursera, and that gave me a whole exposed me to the world of data science and artificial intelligence. So there's need for us to, one, leverage opportunities that are there to train ourselves, either at company level, either to look at online resources. We mentioned that even at currently now we have academia and institutions that already now have degree and master's programs, JQuat, USAU, Strathmore. We have boot camps such as Moringa School and other tech accelerator programs. So there's need for us to look at what opportunities that are there that I can train myself to be more data literate within my area. And more to that, there's also need to involve yourself with professional communities within your field. If it's, let's say, maybe you're in sales and marketing, we have the Institute of the marketers in Kenya. If you look at some of the sessions that they're having, they're more data-related sessions. So being involved also in professional communities within your industry will also expose you to keep updated, and also because most of these communities are having these data-related conversations, because again, as we mentioned, in almost every field we're generating data, and there's need for us to think on how we're maximizing value out of this data. So one is the push for us to upskill ourselves, because if we don't adapt to thrive in the future workforce will all be obsolete, and not just robots. Well, robots will take a bit of will replace us, and those of us who will have upskilled in the human skills will also be able to take up our jobs. So there's need for us to upskill ourselves, leverage what the resources that are around you, either online or if you have access to formal education.
Do that.
Do that.
Okay, that's right. Thank you very much, Kennedy Wangari there. Through deep learning AI, Kennedy is building equitable and empowered AI technology communities and a robust talent pipeline in Africa that is inclusive, equipped with the right tools and knowledge to ethically build and deploy AI systems that will benefit everyone. He says that you should be taking advantage of the opportunities around you, leverage that, and upskill, and also be updated of these emerging technologies. You're afraid that technology will replace you at your work, but what about the guys, human beings who will have upskilled and will be replacing you as you wait and fear about all these emerging technologies? Thank you very much, Kennedy, for having this conversation with us today.
Great, thank you
Maybe
so much.
just lastly to our viewers, how do you feel artificial intelligence is going to impact our social and economic problems? Because Kenya is quite unique, right? And you've been able to see how this works at Safe Border, at NVIDIA, at UNEP. You know, these are very different sort of fields. This is climate, this other one is transportation, and this other is a bit of tech. Maybe just to cap in one paragraph, few sentences on this camera here, how you feel that is going to impact our society in Kenya, and then a call to guys to adopt and to move along with AI.
Great.
Yes.
Kenya has been ranked as the regional hub for ICT in Africa. And what that means, we've been able to have a lot of efforts being channeled towards adoption of emerging technologies, and also making Kenya as the global ICT hub. And as a country, I would encourage us, almost every state and non-state factors, let's play our role in our role from the government. Let's ensure we have a conducive legislation and working in place to ensure we're supporting our organizations to in innovation and development on AI-related startups and enterprises. At the general public, there's need for us to upskill ourselves. Let's explore opportunities at company level, at individual level. Must be part of the communities. Let's upskill ourselves. Let's learn, and above all, let's build innovatively with artificial intelligence. For companies, let's explore our data maturity levels. Let's rethink on how we bring in new talents. Let's also look at how we put in place data-driven workflow processes, and how we can improve our operations, and collectively we'll be able to solve our social, economic, and political problems in data-driven ways. Already we've seen developed and Western countries already making great progress, and there's need for us to also ride with the wave of artificial intelligence, and to ensure we have support more so from the government. And above all, let's continue learning. Let's explore creative ways we can combine our skills, and let's build towards this AI-powered future, and explore how we can solve our social and economic problems for just, sustainable, a peaceful, and a successful future that involves the youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kennedy.
Thank you so much.
I hope to see you again.
Happy to be here.
All right. Ruto's new salary plan for workers. Money from Kenyans abroad dips for the first time in 13 years. Workers go home empty-handed amid protest talks. Those are the headlines in this dailies of Tuesday, the May 2nd, 2023. Grab yourself a copy. I'll be back with Kimani Wachira, the president of the TVET Students Association. We're delving deep into what is happening in politics and how it's influencing business. Biashara Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. everyone. This is the new chapter of Let's Be Fit. I'll be host DiCaplo. I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have box exercise, we'll have kata box. Just name them.
Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, I'm tall. I don't foster, serious another. A big time player, trip too big and ganja. I went flexer, Tina said gym, too hot.
The show comes every Thursday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Keep it locked, make sure we keep fit, and that's it from me to you. Let's be fit.
Big and ganja. I went flexer, Tina said gym, too hot like a heater. My neck done froze like winter. I'm very young, liquor, straight to me, picture.
Ndio tunakula usiku. Tuachane na break kwanza, tuende lunch. Chapo. Ndio. Kama ndimo.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Sikinai tujinai siweke story. Pata maji pia shada ligona nasio nikosa msuko si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe. Najua ni
Big up, Grade, ukiwa Adriva, big up, Sis, big up, Shows, Mamba, big up, Oya, wase wote, okay, my principal, big up.
Maisha ni haya mwanaume ali. Da, sielewi yani hata neno moja. Yani tunasikia maboko likolo. Yani ukiniangalia tu mwamba huyu anafiti sehemu fulani. Wewe inakaa. Without your love, I can't move on. Yo, that's your boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
Kurunzi ya kilimo huimarisha afya na uchumi endelevu katika jamii. Ni msingi mkubwa wa kipindi Boresha Kilimo. Kipindi hiki kinajikita katika teknolojia ya kisasa, utafiti na ushirikishaji wa wadau wa kilimo kuonyesha shughuli mbalimbali shambani. Kwa suluhu ya utoshelevu wa chakula, tazama Boresha Kilimo.
To the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Teros.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali. So make
make sure manzo umetune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Arts
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Now, malaria is an infectious disease that is caused by a Plasmodium parasite that is spread by the Anopheles mosquito.
Like you rightly said, malaria is a vector-borne infection caused by a Plasmodium parasite we call the Plasmodium. Children below 5 years are most prone, especially in the endemic areas. Then we have pregnant women. The immunity is lowered during pregnancy, so they are more prone. Visiting an endemic area when you are not exposed, like somebody living in Nairobi, for Mombasa, for Western Kenya, Kisumu, yeah, they are more prone. There are some medicines one can take. They just need to visit a clinic and they'll be advised on what to take. The clearing of bushes, stagnant water, yes, that can do a lot at the personal level. The public health department can help us by spraying drainages, and together we'll be strong and we prevent deaths caused by malaria.
We're going to have a thought-provoking and insightful newspaper review with Kimani Washira, who's the president TVET Students Association, and is going to be here to delve into the latest political news and trends and also developments in the world of business. I have the Business Daily, the Daily Nation, the Standard. If you have the Star, the People's Daily, I love to look at the headline. Nitumie tuone kuna kaaje on that other end. For the guys who are tuning in, continue sending in your feedback. I'll be reading it. Tracy Wahu anasema, I wouldn't mind a show from Ndula, a shoe from Ndula. They should keep us posted zikikuja. I'll be wearing the first pair. You book yours, alafu tutaona kama utapata as well. There's a very tense situation in the Nairobi CBD at the moment. I'm seeing here images. Their businesses are closed, the streets are empty, and this is an anticipation of the Maandamano Tuesday. Hapa hivi MDD Kenya anasema happy holidays, #Maandamano Tuesday, #Maandamano. Enda downtown utushow situation iko aje. That's Britton Adams pale. Economic sabotage, Chrome 254. Hamoni kwenda maandamano pia ni cult. We'll get to know from Kimani Washira once we're back. Don't go far. Inflationary pressure in the United States squeeze remittances. Transfers are dropping by 1.1 billion in quarter to March. Cash sent home from Kenyans living abroad in 3 months to March of this year, for the first time since 2010, has fallen and has hit a multi-decade high. As inflation has hit a multi-decade high in many countries, squeezing household budgets. Low-income minorities in these nations, including a significant share of whom are Kenyans, are now having to squeeze and select some of the most important things where they want to spend their money on, and some of these essential ones are food, transportation, and housing. I want to inform you that Kenyans abroad typically send money to help their families and to invest in projects like real estate, and with flow from the US accounts for about 60% of those total remittances that we receive from nations abroad. So if you have a relative in Minnesota, right now if you text them, they'll tell you Minnesota because they don't have enough money to be sending through. What is happening in these economic centers? We're driving that conversation there in a bit. The Daily Nation, Ruto's new salary plan for workers. President William Ruto pictured here yesterday with his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, and there next is Co-to Secretary General in frame Francis Atwoli and other leaders who were there at Uhuru Gardens yesterday. Very low turnout, which was registered there in Uhuru Gardens and also across the country. We're getting into that as President William Ruto also announced new salary policies that will set equal pay for workers in public and private sectors. This is a policy before cabinet, and it is being promised taken to parliament, and as they always say in the Kenya Kwanza government, soon. So how soon that is, the defending of this workers' rights, we are waiting to see, but that's what's there on the Daily Nation. The Standard, workers go home empty-handed amid protest talks. Employees are expecting the government to focus on high cost of living and probably get a pay rise, but the president was silent yesterday in matters how they're going to tackle that minimum wage, which according to them, it is a delay because of setting up of that wages commission, which is required to advise the state on matters of wages and also setting up of the minimum wage. I have with me Kimani Washira. He was here last week. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We are great to be here.
I think this time we've come with a pin. I didn't see that pin last week, yeah? That's
a Kenyan pin and Vision 2030.
Vision 2030 in Kenya.
Yes, but I'm told that it's no longer Vision 2030, it's Vision 3020. But probably the viewers will tell us why they are saying.
We are shifting the goalpost.
We are shifting the goalpost.
We've gotten too near to the 20s.